I'm here.
Brilliant.
And you're live, Joe.
Thank you, Aisha. Apologies for everyone, and we seem to have a bit of a technical issue. One of the beauties of this way of working is we can talk to people all over the world from all different continents, but sometimes it's out of our control. So welcome back. Thank you for remaining patient. And thank you, Ella, for spending this time with us this evening, and Raya and Jenny for being my co-hosts. So Ella, I was asking you how you first came across the solution focused approach, and you were saying you were working with families and children, and then it kind of went a bit off. So yeah, maybe if we can pick up from there.
Yeah, thank you. I did a master ecological pedagogy, and someone, I think one of my 6 brothers, asked, "What are you going to do with that?" and and I was thinking, well, okay, I'm trying to do some coaching, some counseling. That was quite new then, 2005, in the east of Holland. It was very new. But then someone asked, with what kind of theory are you helping people? And I was a little bit annoyed because I was thinking, well, I'm a teacher for over 20 years. I've done some studying, and I have my kids of my own. But I don't know where exactly. I think there was a friend who wanted to do some training course with Louis Kaufman. She didn't do it actually, but I heard about it and I joined. And well, it was so completely fitting what I think, what I feel, and I just constantly want to learn more about it. So that was my start. And actually, the fun thing that is that the first family I helped with their daughter, a young daughter, age about 5, their feedback was, well, completely fitting solution focused. That was before I started with Louis Kaufman. You kept it light. I didn't have to go down very deep, and so that was very was a nice way of thinking. Yeah, I'm in the right place.
That's very nice instant feedback, isn't it?
Yeah,
from a very first one. So if somebody says to you now, what theory do you follow? Do you have an answer?
Yeah, it is the solution focused approach. I love it very much, and I think the caring and the intuitive wanting to be with that person and help them. It's waved, I think, a bit with your empathy feelings for the other one, whether it's a student or an attendee of your training course or family member. And that's I think, yeah, the kind of respect I feel in the solution focused approach.
Can't hear you.
I muted myself there. Ella, you've chosen to use your solution focused skills in the context of mentoring. That's one of because you've authored a book about solution focused mentoring. So I'm kind of curious how that came about. Why mentoring in particular?
Well, I think it's a lot of what I do is from my teaching heart. So I wanted to write about solution focused mentoring because there wasn't that back then. There wasn't written about it. And I'm constantly wanting to spread the word about the solution-focused thinking and approach. So I was thinking, yeah, that is a kind of gap back then. And I could write about it. And hopefully in a kind of teaching way so people could understand it.
So when you say mentoring, what is it that you do? What is mentoring about?
For me, it is helping someone who wants to be better, become better in what he loves to do, whatever field. And he asks a person which is a role model for him, or an elderly or a senior, but it actually it could be anyone, I think. When he, so I don't have that much specific examples, because I was writing about it. I was teaching, and hopefully people who read it and are mentoring people could understand the solution-focused way of thinking about it and working with it.
So you were talking about having that kind of the feeling and respect. What is it about this way of working that makes you feel it's more respectful of clients?
I think it's the holding back what we do. It's all about the other person. It's all about the child or the students or the attendees of the. It's about them. It's about making them in a training course, making them. I so want them to feel how it works, and I'm not that good in making the differences. I really actually don't like the other way of thinking. It's perhaps to get a clear idea about it, but I can't get it out of my mouth, the problem thinking, and so I try with all kind of stuff that people notice how the solution focused approach works.
Mm-hmm. I like your phrase, holding back, and I was also intrigued by your mentoring book. So what's the difference between mentoring and coaching, do you think? Does a mentor hold back less, or what?
Perhaps a mentor is more aware of what the other person hopes to get from him. The learning part, perhaps. That's.
So yes, because you've got this long background in teaching, and forgive me if I'm using stereotypes here, but teachers are often telling people things. So how do you come away from that into holding back?
Yeah, it's the same. I want them to be active and to notice the things. I remember one time I had this. I was teaching in kindergarten, and there was someone visiting the classes and looking at how we teach the children mathematics. And I was in kindergarten, so it was about thick and thin, and big and small, and all kind of stuff. And I gave them, it was so much fun. I gave them a piece of paper so they could read. I love it. They could read. So I wrote on the paper a thin book, or a short pencil, and someone else a long pencil, and they had to go in pairs, looking in class and finding there what there was written on their piece of paper. Mm-hmm. So they were so completely busy, and they were really actively searching for it. And I could, like most, I think a lot of people, teachers I could spread it on the floor. Mm-hmm. So I have done all the work, and then we talked about who sees there is a thick book on the floor. Who said it? Well, so that's what I love to do with the training courses also. That people are active doing it, and while doing it, we can discuss it and learn.
Like the ecological pedagogy that you started off with. That's what makes it ecological.
So how does that translate into your work with adults? Because you also work with adults. So how do you make mentoring active in that way with adults using solution focus? Because that was a lovely example. So I wonder if you have an example from the work you do with adults.
I'm thinking very hard because it would be a long time ago from the teaching time, and actually then it was more the usual solution focused approach coaching I did, and I didn't do very much mentoring myself. I got some mentoring and in starting a small business, and then you notice the not solution focused mentoring help. So it was, yeah.
So when you go on, Ryan.
I can hold on to that one.
No, I was just because you were saying, Ella, that a colleague of yours was booked onto a course and she couldn't go, and you turned up, or it kind of that way it went. When you came back into your everyday field of work, what differences did it make to you and your clients when you started to change the way you were working with them?
I think I remember very well that I was had all these papers around me lying with the solution focused questions. And I was a bit nervous about it, and I noticed after not that long time I don't like them to lay them around me, and I didn't use them watching it during the sessions. So it's for me it was more being constantly getting new information, getting new energy of the solution focused approach. So I'm in my mind I was aware of the kind of questions you ask and the way you listen. Yeah, and more being conscious about what you are asking and doing, and also on the simple way, where riding a bike and seeing some boy in sports outfit and wanting to have him to let him be cheerful, and I wanted to ask something, and I hold back because I thought no, he could say no as an answer. So in those moments, you're always busy with the solution focused.
Okay, yeah, that's a nice example. Raya, go ahead, Raya.
Yeah, no, I was just curious because I was having a look at your website earlier. I thought, I wanted to know more about what you're doing, and I noticed that the word wisdom and wise,
I think,
features quite a lot on your site, and I was curious about that.
It's because of my my owl, my first name. My first name was Bureau Owl. It's not translated easily in English. That's what I hope to be for parents, some kind of wisdom getting from me. And I think, I know Plamen disagrees, but I think the solution-focused approach is one and all wisdom, because it's so respectful and it's so holding back, and it's so the person who is there has the answers. What more wisdom can you have? So it's within my logo. There's an owl in it, so I'm just naming it the wisdom of Ella, and that's my that's all about the solution focused things I've done.
Can I just jump in and ask a few questions? Marika Wolfrat, we love Marika. Ella, what is your best hope looking to the SF approach in your work? So what are your best hopes from your work using the SF approach?
made a switch in during the first lockdown. I want, well, like I said, I want to spread the approach as much as possible, and I've made a workshop into an online workshop from 1 hour. Tackle your challenge, it's called, and within an hour, people, without telling me what they're thinking about, what their challenge is, they start, and I'll guide them in kind of flow with about 8 assignments through the hour, and at the end they all are very relieved. And well, we recognize it's a kind of different way of looking at their problems, and they all know what to do, and I don't know their challenge, so that I don't know anything. That's very, for them, very nice to experience. So it's almost too good to be true. How is that possible? And I would love it to bring that in companies, to be a kind of company owl, and to give them this kind of training for this hour, and then they get to know me, and they can come to me with their personal things. Not. I think there are a lot of things that aren't hugely, but they would love to talk about it with someone. Just have a 20-minute conversation with an owl. And I would love to have that in companies, and I would really love that to have that in where they care. How do you call them? We have these small living companies where people with dementia, older people, or
care homes.
Care homes. The small care homes, they all have care workers. So if I could help them, it would be a ripple effect. How can you look at challenges? How can you have conversations about it? And it helps them at home, and it helps them with their clients, with customers, and so that would be lovely.
Your tackle your challenge that you did for the wonderful SF24.
Yeah. And on that part, I think that was a kind of teaching. So my voice is a little bit kind of teaching. But when I'm with attendees, and it's maximum 6, it's a kind of more soft voice. So everyone is in a flow, and everyone is busy.
And you can see that more easily than you could with us on Zoom. I noticed that I've also looked at your website. You're doing that for men and women separately.
Yeah, I was just starting the idea, and just I thought perhaps it would be easier for people when they get used to it, this idea of not telling. Is that true? Perhaps some people would like it to be with others, only women or only men. So I started it that way, and that's in the evening, and during the day it's mixed.
Yeah. Okay. So people can choose.
Yeah.
Good thinking.
So this is a process.
On,
so this is a process, an hour where you're not actually interacting with people, but you are asking questions, and people are engaging in their own reflective process.
Yeah, and I use the solution focused steps.
Fascinating. That's very interesting. So in terms of, because as Jenny's saying about the men and the women, is it simply just that the attendees, or do you ask different questions for men and women?
No.
It's the same.
Same, yeah. It's
like, and have you had in terms of numbers? Do you get the same kinds of numbers for the 3 different groups, or are there more men or more of the mixed group, or how does it work?
No, it's quite perhaps more women, and there are not a lot now. I'm also in a business business network international, like Andrew Gibson. So there, I asked those people also to do the pilot, and so they know how it works, and it's fun because some are think it's not possible, and I don't have a challenge. Well, after a few weeks they come, and it's very nice to see how it works.
So, how you said you wanted to be more of a company owl, going more into the realm of bigger organizations. What makes you want to go that way?
I want to spread it more between the laymen. Do you say it like that?
Yeah.
And it's such a good approach to have a ripple effect around you. And
so how much do you bring to consciousness what you're doing so that it might ripple out? I mean, do you talk about solution focus, or do you just do solution focus? I think that's my question.
Yeah. I've learned that from Ben Furman. He said it once in a training. Do the simple stuff, and when people are really interested, they want to know more, and then you talk about.
And do you find that they are intrigued, that they do kind of notice the difference? I'm asking this because sometimes people are so into the content and they think, gosh, that was an amazing conversation. And they don't really reflect on often about that was very different. Only a few of them, in my experience, so to say, gosh, that's different.
Yeah, I don't know. It was one person I loved it very much. He's a webmaster, and well, he was holding back, but finally he came also, and he said the last part is about your plans. What are you going to do or to feel or to not do or not feel anymore? And before that, it was the how are you going to celebrate it? And like Ben Furman has had one training completely only about celebrating. So there's so much behind it because why I do this. So they have this time to write down really in all kind of ways how to celebrate it. And after that, the 5 minutes about your next steps. And the right away feedback from him, it was, I was already there when I wrote down the celebrating part. Oh, that was great. He was so into that. It was, yeah.
I love that. Can I jump in? Marika, Ella, who is your inspiration at this time in the big SF world? I'd actually like to ask that question to you, Ella, and to our co-hosts, and to Joe.
And to you.
Yeah.
I think Joe Chen has an enormous amount of plans and energy and determination and Emma Burns and oh gosh, so many. And what you guys here are doing, it is so much energy and constantly new people and Ben Furman and Teresa Steiner. who not.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we've done a lot of conversations all over the world with all different practitioners, and every week you think, wow, how can anyone better that? And then someone comes along and betters that, and you think this is an amazing community.
I don't think it's better. I just think it's just another inspiration.
It's just it's just a different angle, and you think, wow, how many other ways can you actually use what we're talking about? Because it seems almost endless. Suicide prevention, families, organizations,
occupational therapy.
Every which way. And it kind of like every time I talk to someone, we're inspired, and we think, because sometimes you have doubts. Did you ever have doubts that this was the right way?
No. And for me, it's so very fortunate. I don't know the other way. I know when I'm in training courses, I hear so many people say, I have to put away my old schooling, and I didn't have that. So I had 6 brothers and living on a farm, 2 sisters, 6 brothers, and they were saying, when you thought you had you took the time or the audacity or you had the guts to tell something about you that wasn't going very well, and you were kind of longing for their empathy, and then you heard this. It's not about how you got it; it's about how you get rid of it.
I like that.
And there you go with your sorry story.
And I remember when we would, because every chat that we have, there's something that stays in the back of my head that makes me think, wow, this is amazing. Because I was talking to Evan George, and he was saying about a conference when Steve the Shazer first came over, and people were asking Steve, he basically just walked on and said, any questions? And people were sitting there waiting, well, I thought I was going to get some insights. And does it work with depression? Does it work with anxiety? And he would just keep saying no. And what Steve said, or what Evan was saying, he was intimating, I don't know if the actual words were used, but it stuck in my head, and it's something that I always go back on, is that the approach works with people, not labels. And I thought that was so powerful, and I thought, this is why for me, it's the right fit. And it was, and so, it's difficult to say anyone in particular, because we've met such fantastic people, and obviously our clients. How amazing are they?
I think.
I can't remember who it was who said that I only get good clients. I think there's something about the approach that facilitates that, let's say. I would put you two and Dominic and Elfie in my list of current heroes.
Don't say that, you're going to get me blushing. Really? Jenny just said that about us?
Well, it's another generation. Even Joe's another generation as far as I'm concerned. And so, just the way that you are, and Dominic and Elfie and others are doing this ripple. And actually, lockdown is helping, because lots of people are podcasting and lots of people are doing this kind of thing now for nothing. And so these ripples seems to me, getting quite tsunami-ish now, maybe.
One should hope. I want to mention John Hendon from yesterday. I know it so very well when attending his workshop at, I think it was Canada, Halifax. I'm not sure, but what he said was that it helps so much the client when they come in just at the very first, and to smile at them. Well, for a lot of people, it's duh. But we know how much how much value it has. Yeah, it seems so simple, but we know it's so valuable.
And I'm just generalizing, but coming from an educational background, if teachers were to welcome their students with a smile and greet them with a smile, the difference that would make to the classroom and the behavior management would be amazing. And we forget ourselves because you've got one lesson, then you've got to try and make time to run to the loo, and then you've got to do this and you've got to do that, and you've got to phone a parent who's left you 3 emails and blah, 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 and you forget the basic things, but it's the basic things that make the difference. Tiny little things, and that one smile makes a huge difference in the way that anybody responds, including adults. What
Or
about you?
A therapist greeting you with a smile, a therapist greeting you with a smile instead of a box of tissues.
Yeah, that's funny because I as soon as I started using Solution Focus, my box of tissues just gathered dust.
Yeah.
It was just, and people used to say to me, there's an awful lot of hilarity going on behind your door. What's going on, and things like that. When I first started using Solution Focus.
Yeah.
Well, apart from you, Aisha, obviously, the person at the moment who I'm really interested in the way that they're thinking is actually Jonas Wells, because I'm doing a lot of work with him around anti-racism and thinking through kind of other kind of social justice type things. And I like everyone else. I could just sit here and just list reams and reams of people, but that just seems to be who I'm kind of working with at the moment, and finding really a new kind of inspiration around Solution Focus. So I think for me, what's interesting about Solution Focus is that you start off in one place. And you think, I'm doing Solution Focuses, and this is where I'm going to get to. And then you start meeting other people and creating connections, and it sort of brings up ideas about, wow, there are these different things one could do. And I wondered, Ella, whether you've talked a little bit about some of the things that you wanted to do. Are there any people that you would actually love to work with, maybe, or maybe tell us a little bit about the community in the Netherlands? The Solution Focus community, and what sort of connections are being made there, or perhaps it goes across the European countries.
I think that from Holland we are very very international minded and focused. There are a lot of groups and positive thinking about Solution Focused approach. And there's a lot happening, and we've a Solution Focused Dutch association. So that's this year also online, making their conferences and the workshops to get people keep people engaged with each other. So it's very good group of people who does that.
I've got a lot of young people coming into Solution Focus as well, in the Netherlands, or generally in the context that you're aware of.
I just missed the first start. Have you?
Many younger people. Jenny was talking about younger generation, and this is one of the things that really strikes me, is that I'm of the older generation now of Solution Focused practitioners, and I love seeing what younger, newer people are doing with it, and I just wondered whether that was the case for you as well. So
I'm thinking. Well, obviously there are a lot of people younger than us, but the really 20 and 30 years old, perhaps I'm missing them right now. Thinking about it, I can't get my brains to reach.
Well, one way that we're doing it, Ella, is parents attend a 4-week workshop and we teach them how to use solution-focused language with themselves and their own family, and then they join other workshops with new parents, and then they lead and ask those parents solution-focused questions. And it was lovely this evening, just before FBS chat, because one of the parents asked a new parent that was on there, you know, what are your best hopes? Covered all of that. And then what is it about your parenting that you're proud of? And what difference does it make to your children? And what is it, if I was to ask your child, how are you influencing them? And they just kind of went on and on and on. I just sat there and I thought, oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to sit back and let the parents ask the question.
Yeah.
But I think it's the power of sharing knowledge and allowing people to just kind of find their own way in the SF community, the SF world, and have that ripple effect again. And teaching parents to use it rather than parents coming to us because there's a challenge, but teaching them to use it means that they're empowering themselves, and any success is definitely just their own, and they're influencing their own family.
Yeah, and I think that is just that only works when you have a great respect for them, and otherwise it's they feel it's that you can't hold back enough. You're constantly joining in or something. Sometimes kids skills. I hear it from a friend of mine who works at the university to train teachers, primary school teachers. She said, I love to give this assignment about kids skills, and they are starting off very enthusiastic, and a lot of them says it doesn't work, but they have to have the respect for the child that it will go all right and good. So with the parents also, we have to have this energy around them, trusting them. And like I like to call it competence, autonomy, and relationship. It's huge for me. We have to have this respect with the very small ones until the elderly or whatever. They have the competence.
Yeah.
Of course they have.
Yeah.
So what was competence? What was the middle one?
Autonomy.
Autonomy and relationship.
It's all in. It's such a huge thing in self-efficacy theory. Well, it's all about solution focused. I love it.
She loves it.
Do you find do you find in Holland, Ella, or Eastern Holland, that the people that kind of fund interventions are more open to the solution focused approach, or are they still a bit skeptical?
The people who are
yeah. So, for example, the NHS in England will fund, CBT, or will go with a particular model, and sometimes the solution focus is resisted somewhat because it just seems a bit too simple.
I would say I know Arnoud Huibers has done a lot of training with therapists, and I would perhaps he could say that there are parts in Holland who are using it a lot. I would really hope so, but I'm not sure. I know that I read something from in the chat now. Ryan, I said David, but it's Ryan. I had this lovely conversation with someone, a young doctor. He's a co-assistant in the hospital. He has to his internship with COVID rules now. It's very difficult for him, and he was a bit complaining about the university putting in some lessons to make them work, but he didn't like it at all. And he was thinking about celebrating his university for the students, their association, the student association, has this big celebration. He wants to do something special. So I talked about tackle your talents, because he also talked about his communication skills. He says, I think mine are better than my intellectual skills becoming a doctor. So I was talking a little bit about solution focus, and he is coming to attend the Tackle Your Challenge, and he would really love it. And I think he would love it, and he would love to put it in and talk about it in the university. And well, that would be great. Those kind of things. How do you have conversations with the client seeing a doctor?
Mm.
I've seen that going back to young people and universities and schools even, that the SF people who work in schools are getting together, having all sorts of conversations at the moment. And it seems to me that with your background, that could be a good place for you at the moment. Have you thought of being
International?
a mentor in schools? No, locally, where you live.
Yeah, but it's hard to well, I've moved 200 k's 3 years ago, so I have to have my network, and then there is all those schools have their own companies where they work with, and so it's kind of difficult to say here I am, and yeah, for now I'm a substitute teacher, and leaving my cards and showing them this book, the translation of this one.
Yes.
So they said, oh, okay. Perhaps putting some seeds here and there with schools, but there is also in Holland positive behavior support. Is that yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It's well, it has some solution focused thoughts in it, and for some teachers, it's very good to have structured for them how many times they have to compliment a child. It's very strict, but okay. I've worked in schools where some teachers could very good use this kind of stuff, because otherwise they wouldn't have done it completely. So that is a big thing in Holland. So they would say we already do this, or another kind of social and emotional thing. So
Gil Green has asked a question. Gil, all the way from Ohio. What about the work of Frederike Baninik? Sorry, guys, if I pronounce that wrong. In the Netherlands regarding positive CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, which is really solution-focused therapy.
I don't know.
Anyone? Gil, you don't know. Tell us the answer, Gil. Write something in the chat, Gil. Quick, Gil.
I'll say something about it because I was quite skeptical.
About it too. Go ahead. First,
I was quite skeptical about Frederike's trying to, make using the kind of CBT and the SFT. But she came and did a session in at the United Kingdom conference in UK SFP in Liverpool. I don't know if you were there, Jenny, or anyone, but I know, and she did a keynote there, and I was actually really impressed. I thought it was a really she pulled out some really interesting points, and had kind of got the best of both worlds without losing the solution focus, which is what I was more concerned about. I have to confess I haven't read her book, but I was impressed with the with the way that she presented it. I see someone's put in there that it's a model.
I think it's Mark Matt.
Yeah, and I kind of understand why you might think that, but I felt it was less of a model once I'd seen her talking about it. So, but I think as a move to try and create visibility for solution focus and enter the world of it through there, it's a route, and she's a very skillful practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
I think, she's been very useful in the sort of undercover SF people who are CBT trained. because in the UK anyway, it's quite important to be CBT trained, but then to be able to do SF, you know, and so she's been very useful in that. But yeah, philosophically, they are miles apart, I think. CBT and even positive psychology, because positive psychology is a diagnostic tool. So it, you know, and we don't do labels, do we, Joe? So
No, we do not.
Yeah, I actually have more time for Frederica's book than I do for Luke's, but that's another story. Anyway, Ella, so we've taken you away
I'm just saying it wasn't Mark Matt, it's Mark McCurgo.
Who's Mark McCurgo?
Oh, he's my hero. I should have said that. He's my SF hero.
You forgot that.
Sorry, Raya, go on.
No, I was just going to ask Ella another question. What's your best hope for solution focus in the Netherlands? What would be the thing that you would love to see that would tell you that solution focus has taken over the Netherlands?
Well, the Dutch Solution Focused Association could grow much more. It's that would be a wonderful miracle if that really, could bring lots more people in it, because there are a lot of people in Holland who work like that and who love the approach. So when we could all come together and have more power to spread it everywhere and around in management, in education, and in therapy, that would be. Now it's also apart. Those little dots working very hard and very, very good, but would be nice to be more engaged with each other, I think.
You know, we like we said earlier, we've spoken to so many practitioners from all over the world, and they're going back to their normal workplace, and they're not so much singing about it, but having little conversations that are solution focused, and having that drip effect, as if we're almost embarrassed by it. Why should we be embarrassed by it if it works?
I think in Holland it's much about the name. That's why when I conducted training courses, I didn't mention the name as a title. Of course, it were solution-focused training courses with a lot of creative stuff and all those kind of things. And this one is a lovely one. Really love it. But I called it. I don't know anymore how it. But it's like connecting. Verbindend communiceren. Connecting communication works, something like that. It's the connection. How you so the wording oplossingsgericht, solution focused, it's when you start saying that, it's already everyone is solution focused. I also work solution focused. So it's kind of hard to perhaps when we have a very complicated name, people will start with.
Yeah, I keep seeing people's blurbs, the things that they're writing about themselves or what they're doing, and they say, I'm solution focused. And I just think, it's unfortunate the term has become very, very degraded. I think, it's used in lots of places, and people like the idea.
I think this is Mark McCurgo. I think. Good to see Ella had many good times in Holland and met so many inspirational Dutch SF people. Fond memory of getting loose to the Ramonas, as well as great workshop.
The Ramones.
I think that's Rob Black. Rob
Rob
yeah,
Black.
he mentioned it yesterday. Do you know the song "Fireworks" from Katy Perry?
Yes.
I love that song, and I made people dance in Frankfurt on that song, standing in the circle. Even Emma Burns, who doesn't do that, yeah, she did it, and she's now. And I started the music, and people were only allowed to dance with their, and I named it their shoulder, or only with their elbow, or only with their head, or with their hips. And at the end, I said, in Dutch it's called ik ga los. I couldn't translate it fast enough, so I said, now you get loose. you just go on dancing at the end of the song, and you use every part of your body. And the solution focus thought behind it was you can use every small detail of your body, and you're still dancing. So when you try to listen to resources, they're always people themselves think, I'm not able to dance because I'm in a wheelchair. And we are such good listeners, and we try to point them out, but you can also dance with your finger or with your head.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. We've got time for one more round of questions. Sorry, Raya, go.
No, I was just reminded of a story from occupational therapy where somebody I was talking about a person who'd suffered a lot of injuries, but was actually a bodybuilder, but just with one arm, just bodybuilding the arm. And I remember just thinking that was just so inspirational. This, okay, I'm a bodybuilder, and the only place I can do that is my arm, and that's what I'm going to do. So your story reminded me of that.
So rather than looking at what he didn't have, he's looking at what was, what he still could control, what was in his control, and made the most of that. Yeah, I find those stories so inspirational.
Yeah. So I love hearing how creative you are, Ella, with the ways that you introduce solution focus and the ideas.
May I mention this one?
What's the crazy workshop? Yeah, this I was looking. What's this?
This one. Well, we know him all. We all know them. You fold the paper and you cut down some parts. And people were in pairs. And I did it once with Danny Jansen, who is blind, who had this guide with him, and the guide was saying, "Okay, Danny, Ella says I'm only allowed to cut when you say something positive about me, a real compliment." So then he started with some easy things about her, and she was cutting, and then he stopped, and I still hear her saying, "Come on, Danny, I have more room." But I love the fact that when you open it, even the holes, it's empty, but it's your compliment. So you can put it on a white paper and color it, or you can use the cutting parts and make something beautiful out of it. It's everything and all is compliment. It's good about you.
I'm going to put a piece of card. I'm going to put a card and scissors in front of Joe and wait for him to start complimenting and cutting things out. He'll just punch it.
Be careful what I do with those scissors. But, you know what? That is. I wish I had that sort of. When you're in a session sometimes and something comes to you and you think I'm going to try it and it absolutely works and you think how wonderful was that? Because sometimes you have to, often in the way that we work, you're on your feet, you're thinking on your feet because you don't really know what's going to come next. That's the beauty of it, and also the scary part of it, because you just don't know what the client's going to say. With the family tonight, the young girl, they were both in. Mum was in one room, the girl was in the other. It was all on Zoom. And there was family bereavement. The cat died. I thought, I can't even use the cat. And then she said, but we got another cat. I said, oh, what's the cat's name? So what would the cat notice about you? She said, what she found with the cat was that no matter what she'd done, it would always come for a hug. And it was so powerful, just that tiny little thing about a cat. But when she first mentioned it and she said it had died, I thought, oh, the moment's gone.
Yeah.
But then she said, we got a new one. And you don't have to labour the point. It was spoken, it was said, it's in there, and Mum heard it, and I didn't have to say anything else, I don't think. And that was, sometimes you get those beautiful moments, which are priceless, aren't they? You can't replicate it. But you have so many lovely ideas, Ella. My problem is my memory is terrible. Long term, it's terrible. Short term, if I'm talking to someone, I can hold on to things. But yeah, I would love to be more creative.
Well, that's why I love to use those things. I hope that the attendees remember it more when we call all those things.
Yeah. And it's another hook to that memory, isn't it? It's whether it's a piece of music, whether it's a piece of art, it's more vivid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, when you hear a certain piece of music, it can bring back so many different memories for you.
I love the assignment I made for people. Write down pieces of music, some music songs or whatever, when you want to make small steps or big steps. And I know there was someone from the islands, the Caribbean, and she had so many different music styles. And we just talked about that. What is that? What? It's so interesting. What they
So, last two questions coming from Jenny and Raya.
Okay, I've got one. Is there anything that you like to have said that we haven't asked a question?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, Chris, what have we not asked you yet?
I've just thrown in myself my my creative stuff, so that wait, did I want to just know? I talked about the car, the competence, no. The humor, but we mentioned that Raya in your room was always laughter. So
So if you had one piece of, because you are the owl, aren't you? You're the wise owl. So if you had one piece of wisdom for someone starting out as a solution-focused therapist, what would that be?
care. And it's not only about the therapist, but I think when you really care about your students, your attendees, your mentees, I think you're it's their place, it's their time, it's they're finding out, hopefully without any pain, their way to grow and that's also with small kids. It's about them. When you care enough, it comes easy.
Yeah, I like that. And the thing is, as soon as you said care, we just all went, we just like care. But it's so true, isn't it? And care is such a big word. And some people might feel threatened by that because of the relationship between professional and client. And care can sometimes be something that people are afraid to show or think that they're not allowed to, or they shouldn't do because of the professional and client relationship. but actually it makes a world of difference. And there's a difference between care and caring, and, you know, caring for a family member and caring for someone you're working with. But caring is having hope that they can make that change and believing in them, and it comes across that way. But so you're absolutely right. And as soon as you said it, it was like, yeah, that's care and respect are two big things, aren't they?
Yeah.
We've actually come to the end, Ella, but I want to quickly say before we say bye-bye to everybody that actually a lot of negative things have come from COVID, and a lot of people have lost family members and friends and pets, and not through COVID, but during that time. But I'm so happy and honored to have met you through the networking groups, which would not have happened really, or I probably wouldn't have known about if it wasn't for that. And that's exactly where I met Jenny and Raya. But I was drawn to you, Ella, because of your smile and your humor. And you'd say something very witty and then just sit back and then just let me just go, oh yeah. And during this time, I've kind of adopted many solution focused aunties, mums, uncles, granddads, and I don't care if they take offense, because you're now my auntie, you're now my mummy, and we have a solution focused family, and it's just so lovely that you are part of that family for us at Family Based Solutions. And we have a lot of respect for you, as we do for many people out there, many professionals, many colleagues and friends. But yeah, thank you for being you and for being so caring and respectful.
I think it's for me the simple way. I know the theory, I know the words, and when people say it, I think yes, but I can't reproduce it myself. I only can do the simple stuff. So.
Yeah, but that works.
Yeah.
If it works, keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
There you go. So tomorrow evening we have Matthew Seligman at 5 p.m. With a surprise co-host, who I will give everyone a hint has been watching Ella's show tonight. Oh, who could it be? Does he live here? Does he live far? Who is this man or woman? And then we also have, who do we have next week, Ryan?
Oh, us.
Next Tuesday.
Me and Sarah Mosley and Lucy Duncan, the authors of the co-authors of Creating Positive Futures, solution-focused recovery from mental distress, which has finally come out as a ebook.
And which I've started reading, and it is amazing. And I'm going to put up the link for everyone to view soon, and we can look at it from Amazon, and I'll put the Amazon link on there for you guys. But
put it on Lulu, please.
Put it where?
Put the Lulu link up.
I'll put the Lulu link up. Yep. Okay.
I get more money. We get more money from that one.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, you got to remind me on the day to do it. But you won't forget. But Ella, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to our co-hosts. Absolutely amazing. And
thank you.
Can you guys guess what, I've got my aunties here. Absolutely love them, and definitely a big family. So thank you very much, and we'll see you guys. Can I just ask you guys to wait there so we can say personal goodbye and thank you? But everybody else, we'll see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. UK time, GMT. I've got to remember to keep saying that, with Matthew Seligman. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye all.